the famous brave Saladin, who conquered regions such as Egypt, Syria, Yemen, and Palestine, and founded the Ayyubid state in the region extending from Diyarbakir to Yemen. A brave man who is careful about people's rights, reads a lot, listens a lot, and thinks a lot. He is fair, forgiving, soft-tempered, generous, honest, patient and brave. He is not fond of worldly pleasures and hates ostentation. He dresses simply and lives in a tent. His people complained about only one thing about Selahaddin Ayyubi throughout his life. They complain that he is always sullen. For a while, the complaints increased so much that one day, during the Friday prayer, the Imam translated the voices of the people and explained the virtues of smiling in the sermon. A ruler who is not friendly towards his people has no right to expect love and respect from his people. As soon as Sultan Selahaddin heard this, he went to visit the Imam. "I think you meant me," he says. In the countries he rules, there is law, there is justice, and the Imam says yes without fear or hesitation. After a deep sigh, Selahaddin Ayyubi says, "Sir, how can I smile when the Al-Aqsa Mosque, where the Messenger of Allah ascended, is in the hands of non-Muslims, and Jerusalem, the trust of Hazrat Omar, is captured?" And he starts to sob. He lives and sleeps in the tent he sets up in the garden of his palace. To those who advised him that he should live in the palace, he replied, "If I can save Jerusalem, then maybe I can sit in the palace." Undoubtedly, because of this sincerity, God grants him the conquest of Jerusalem. He was a warrior and also a developer who founded and developed cities. He values knowledge and scholars, and he is a Muslim enough to say that he has never performed a single prayer without a congregation. He loved reading and listening to the Quran. He would cry while reading and listening to it. During the conquest of Jerusalem, he made a lot of effort to prevent bloodshed in the holy city. He partially succeeded in doing this. If he wanted, he could have lived in the most beautiful palaces. But he did not want anything to remain in this world. His heart was turned towards the afterlife. At the time of his death in Damascus, according to his will, they tied his shroud to the end of a branch like a flag, and they paraded that branch from street to street, while town criers shouted, "Hey people, look at the last state of Sultan Selahaddin, who conquered so many places and brought the kings to their knees. Take a lesson from him. All of Selahaddin's wealth is now leaving the world with only a shroud." Those who shouted and those who heard were crying. He passed away in 1193. His life and death became a lesson to the world and a great example for us. Here is a brave man who truly cares about Jerusalem.